Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a favorites video. These are the products that I absolutely cannot live without, or it's a must-have in my collection. I realized that I actually have a lot more than I thought, so I'm actually going to make two parts of this video. The first one is going to be glossy finishes, and the second part is going to be matte finishes. Otherwise it's just going to be too long. Today I'm going to be doing favorite lip products for glossy finishes. These are my favorite lip products because of their formula, but also I did choose my favorite shade from each collection. I'm going to be explaining and swatching them one by one, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm also going to be applying these in order of stain and also how pigmented the shade is. First off, we have Romance Lasting Melting Balm. This is in the shade 12 Veiled Rose, a very beautiful purple brown shade. It has a very beautiful cherry top finish. Looks so beautiful and dreamy. For this collection, it has so many good shades, so it's really hard to pick my favorite, but the one that I use the most is 12 Veiled Rose. As you know, for this formula, it doesn't have much of a stain. It does fill in the wrinkles of your lips to give this semi-blurred finish. Very moisturizing. It is quite thick, however. If you have excess product, just blot it and you should be okay. It gives a very beautiful tinted look, very easy to build up, very easy to blend. It does have a sweet scent, so I would keep that in mind. A lot of tinted lip balms that came out over the past few years, but this has got to be my favorite. It's not sticky, it's not waxy. I think the only downside is probably that it doesn't have much of a stain. However, it has a beautiful finish. Also very good to layer on top of other lip shades as well. Next up, we have Romance Lasting Color Gloss. This is in the shade 6 Dim Mauve. Similar to the previous shade, it's also a purple shade. It does have a little bit of brown in it. It has a very beautiful glossy finish. It gives a very dull like gloss. It is semi-transparent. Apply quite sheer and you can build up the color. However, I think this is really easy to apply on top of other lip products, and it's easy to control the color, so you can add a sheer layer, or if you want a more pigmented layer, you can also do that. It's a very see-through like glossy finish. It looks really good in photos as well. Again, it's similar to the previous shade, but I don't know, I've just been obsessed with purple brown shades and I love it in these two formulas. It looks really flattering in these two formulas. This formula, it's not sticky, it's not waxy, it's semi-watery. For the gel to oil formula, it does have more gel in it, so it is quite moisturizing. It does have a slight sweet slash shea butter scent, but it's not too overwhelming. And unfortunately, this also does not have a stain, but it's really good to layer on top of other lip products. And I really like to pair this with Romance Bitter Grape. It does a really good job of filling in the wrinkles of your lips to give you that very beautiful glossy pout. Next up, we have Peripera's Ink Mood Glowy Tint in 10 Captivating Pink. From what I know, this is actually discontinued. I did make a shorts of dupes for this shade. In my opinion, it looks the best in this formula, unfortunately, and I do hope they bring it back someday. For this shade, you have a beautiful pink purple shade. It's a little bit similar to Bitter Grape, but it does have more purple in it, and it's also semi-mute as well. Very MLBB-like color. I also like the formula as well. As you probably know, the Ink Mood Glowy Tint has a lot of shades. I'm always looking forward to new shades from this collection. The formula is amazing. It's not sticky, it's not waxy, it's super moisturizing. It glides so smooth on your lips, and it does have more of a watery gel-like formula. Really easy to blend, really easy to build up the color. It does have a pretty good stain as well. For lighter shades, I find that it lasts 3 to 4 hours, but for darker shades, it can last up to 5 to 6 or more hours depending on eating and drinking. I love the glossy finish of this. It has a very watery, dewy-like finish, and it does have a shea butter like scent. Whenever I travel, I always have at least one shade from this collection in my bag. Next up, we have Clio's Crystal Glam Tint. This is in the shade 6 Daily Mauve. This is also a pink purple shade. This is similar to Captivating Pink, but it does have more pink in it than purple. Slightly a little bit brighter as well. A little bit similar to Bitter Grape as well. Very beautiful glossy formula as well. Has this see-through like transparent finish. It also has a really good stain as well. It has a soapy floral like scent, but it's not overwhelming. It actually smells quite good. Lots of good shades from this collection. I like Daily Mauve, but I also like Gentle Cinnamon. And for this, it's not sticky, very moisturizing, has a very beautiful glistening gloss finish. Next up is Etude's Glow Fixing Tint. This is in the shade number 2 Mellow Pink. For this formula, you do have to wait a few seconds for the glossy finish to show. It does have more of a gel-like formula. It is a little bit thick when you apply it, but once it oxidizes, it's going to give a very beautiful dewy gloss finish. It has a slight soapy scent, but it's not too overwhelming. It also has a really good stain as well. If you wash this with water or makeup remover, it is going to turn into a red stain. Next up is Romance Dewy Full Water Tint. This is in the shade number 3 Rose. Sort of this pink rosy color. If you want a rosy color but you don't want it to look too red, I definitely recommend this shade. It's going to give you a beautiful flushed rosy look. This formula is quite similar to Peripera's Ink Mood Glowy Tint. However, it does have a little bit of a better stain for darker shades. It has a gel-like formula, very easy to blend, very moisturizing, lots of shades to choose from as well, and very flattering and beautiful shades. I also do like Canyon, Custard Mauve, Cherry Pink are all really good shades from this collection that I like to wear. But I guess out of all these, it would have to be If Rose that I wear the most. So far, this has the least scent out of all the products I reviewed previously. It's very mild, you can barely smell it. Next up is Romance Juicy Lasting Tint and 19 Almond Rose. You probably know about this lip product, but it has so many shades. Very popular. Bear Grape is the most popular shade, but I also do enjoy the Almond Rose. So this rosy brown color, it's not too red. I actually have my lips right now. It's more of a mute shade, so if you are into mute rosy shades, I definitely recommend this. As you know, for this formula has a dewy light glossy finish. It's not as glossy as I would like it, so I do prefer to add a glossy finish on top. However, for this lip product, it has a really good stain. It does have a semi-sweet scent. If you use a makeup remover or it comes in contact with water when you're washing it off, the stain does turn red, so I would keep that in mind. Next up is Etude's Over Glowy Tint. This recently came out, and this is in the shade for Baby Otter Brown. Very beautiful pink brown color. It's sort of similar to Nucademia. I do like it in this formula, however, because of how glossy it is. Very easy to blend, and it does have a little bit of an oil-like formula to it. Once you apply on your lips, you do wait a few seconds for it to oxidize, and once it does, it has this very glossy, probably the most glossy Korean lip product that I've reviewed with a good stain. So very impressive formula. Really good to layer on top of other products as well if you want a more glossy finish. So that's a vanilla slash shea butter scent, but it's quite mild. It's quite similar to their Glow Fixing Tint, which actually came out first, except for the Over Glowy Tint is a lot more glossy. It has a very shiny gloss finish. The glossy finish also lasts quite a long time. I find that for glossy finishes, sometimes they lose their gloss after a few minutes, but for this one, it lasts up to 1 or 2 hours, and of course it has a really good stain as well. Last but not least, we have Peripera's Water Bear Tint. This is in the shade number 1, Announced Beige. You can see I'm almost done using this bottle. You can see how much I adore this shade. There's so many good shades from this collection as well. For this shade color, you sort of have this peachy beige color, and it does take a few seconds for it to oxidize a bit, which it does get a little bit darker. Even for a light shade, it has a pretty good stain. It does have a sweet scent, however, so I would keep that in mind. Very easy to blend, very easy to build. It's very moisturizing, it's not drying at all. It's more lightweight than Peripera's Ink Mood Glowy Tint and Woman's Dewy Full Tint. I think the biggest advantage of this is that it has a really good stain. It can last up to 6 to 8 hours. However, it does have a red stain if it comes in contact with water, so I would keep that in mind. So those are some of my favorite lip products of all time, or must-haves in my lip collection. These are glossy finishes, and I will be making a separate video for matte finishes, which I'm really excited for as well. For the glossy finishes, you'll see that it did have sort of a similar palette of being pink and purples, having the same muteness. A lot of them are MLB shades, but I think that's usually what I typically wear. For the matte finishes, we might see a little bit more variety. But anyway, it was really fun to swatch and share with you. Definitely let me know in the comments below your favorite glossy shades. That'll be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.